Okay, welcome back to the modern whatever we're doing. We'll see if we can input some value within the time here. You know, maybe people timestamp it, maybe they cut it up from here. But yeah, we gotta get real food in the fucking bucket here. So we've been doing you know, some calorie things. I mean, you gotta bulk. I mean, you're either playing point guard. I mean, that's 220, or you're playing LB. I mean, that's going to be 240. You know, one of these things translating the air baseball. You know, it could be, you know, whatever, 220. Be a 5-hitter, left hand. You know, but bringing it home. You know, you got to bring it home as a 5-hitter. You know, just a left hand 5-hitter playing left field. You got to bring it home. You know, just playing that role. You know, just doing that stuff. You know, or you could build houses, but how are we going to build houses well? How do we build houses well? Theoretically, I guess all the guys that grew up together, maybe on the baseball team, or maybe they grew up together on the basketball team, or they grew up together on the whatever football team. They have and they were actually pretty good. Theoretically, they go into after. You know, HS, they start building houses, you know, and they're looking at these other companies, these like low budget things, these like makeshift, you know, beat up trucks and stuff. And then, you know, these guys get into it. They're actually working with the pace because they've been, you know, playing football with each other the last 3 years, you know, so they're like outperforming some of these other like companies, you know, in the labor world, like kind of like, even though they haven't fine-tuned like all the knowledge of, you know, proportions of this concrete and pouring with this measurement of that, they haven't fine-tuned those things yet, but on just the pace alone they can start to outperform, and then they start picking up these knowledge points of how to, you know, balance the different things, and you know, how to do the proportions, and you know, the processes of you know, putting the thing together, you know, on that construction stuff. Well, you gotta have structured thinking. So, you know, people here, I guess you're attracted to structured thinking. So you're attracted to playing quarterback. You know, who attracts you to maybe Dan Marino, maybe Andrew Luck. You know, strong in the pocket. You know, well-rounded. You know, good down the field, maybe Kurt Warner, you know, bringing you back. So, getting your nutrition in line.